I really thought we had a couple more days before USA would become number one with this. I really did. People are still joking around about it. We've got people coughing on food. We got ridiculousness happening all across the country. We still got people in denial saying, hey, it's no big deal. When are people going to wake up? We just became number one for the coronavirus. Number one. We beat Italy. We beat Spain. We beat Germany. We beat France. China, we can't even go on their numbers if they're true or not because they're nothing but a bunch of liars. We are at 82,404. Third month, 26th day, 2020. We have 1,178 deaths right now. New York is crying for help. I predicted a pandemic about 2 to 3 years ago, and I was right. But it wasn't hard to predict. Bill Gates predicted it. We usually have one every 5 years, every 3 years, every 10 years. It's not a matter if we're going to get one. Yes, it's coming. And another one's going to happen. Yes, constantly. It's not going to go away. Why do we not have enough masks? Why don't we have enough gowns? Why don't we have enough machines? Why? We have the technology. Why are presidents more concerned about stock markets and all this other stuff that's going on? Very simple preppers that have been prepping for things for years probably have more masks and gowns than what's going on. And this is just stupid on a whole new level. Take a look at the bottom right here on this meter. You see this here? This is the curve they're talking about. Now, if you don't understand what the curve is very simple. The higher that goes, the more people die. Now, what they were trying to do was flatten that, to make that come out and, do a little hump and start coming down. Put your hand on top of it and press down on it. That's why they got everybody staying home and not working. So they can stop the infections. We're basically trying to starve this virus out. But nobody listens, right? They're all hanging out at the beach partying. It's just a whole new stupid level. They can't control it. First world country, right? We can build beautiful computers. We can build planes. We got warheads. We got it all. First world country. And we can't keep a person at home. You people must want to lose your rights because sooner or later, if this continues to escalate and we don't get that curve and it don't come down, martial law is going to be executed, armies are going to be brought in, and people are going to be picked up. They don't have a cure. We're looking at a year to 2 years. This is horrible for President Trump. And he didn't even know how to handle this. He tried. He figured, okay, maybe I could just bluff my way through this and maybe not that many people will catch it. After all, we are USA. But he failed. He ended up looking like a liar. He shot down the experts, even though some experts were trying to talk. We got a president that keeps shooting everybody down, and we got experts trying to warn people. It got to the point where we've got actual doctors on YouTube now. You can't suppress a first world country. I don't know why Donald Trump hasn't figured that out. People are going to speak out. I hear people talking about the mayor of New York, how great he is, and he should run for president because he knows what he's talking about. People are very impressed by him with Governor Cuomo. But a lot of people are not impressed with Donald Trump right now. We've become number one. Do you remember back when Donald Trump was running his campaign, he was yelling, "You are going to be so sick and tired of being number one, you are going to beg me to stop." I'm sure he didn't have this in mind, but I'll tell you, yeah, I'm kind of wishing we weren't number one right now. And I don't think we should have ran out of masks or gowns or anything like this. This is scary. This is more than scary. When your own government ain't prepared for a pandemic, when you know it's coming. Bill Gates predicted it was coming. This ain't just something that one or two people said was going to happen. Scientists, people at the CDC, he's been told over and over. Every president's told. Donald Trump, 2 years ago, removed a big chunk of the CDC, trying to save some money over there. Well, he did well with that, didn't he? Now, he's not at fault for the virus. Don't think that at all. But he is at fault when he made the cuts to the CDC. And he is at fault for all the lying he's been doing and not getting the information from the experts. He's way out of his element. I mean, he has no idea what's going on with this. And that's sad that he can't step back because of his narcissistic personality and realize I need to bring the experts and put them behind the podium instead of him trying to grab the attention like a narcissist. This is really scary when somebody like that is in control and trying to look after us. We're in trouble. And like I said, down here on the right, this yellow line, as long as this keeps going up and up and up and up and up, this is going to go up and up and up and more people are going to die. This is going to go up more and more and more. We don't even have enough test kits across the USA. I even read on Facebook today where China had sent a bunch of test kits to Italy that didn't even work. So none of these numbers are even true. We could say 82,440 are confirmed, but how many more out there aren't even tested? I mean, do we double it? Do we triple it? Do we quadruple it? I mean, this is ridiculous. We don't have proper breathing machines. We don't have our health professionals, our nurses. They're washing masks. People are trying to sew masks. This is really, really pathetic. We should have had 20 warehouses with this stuff. Are you kidding me? I have no confidence in our president whatsoever. You may, but I don't. And on top of that, they're releasing the so-called stimulus plan. So everybody's going to get, what is it, $1,200, $1,400? I got to tell you right now, there's a catch behind that thing. And I'm predicting that right now. There's a catch. And it's going to come out in a year, 6 months or whatever. I'll bet you any money there's a catch. Because when they kept talking about that thing, it was like all of a sudden the Republicans were trying to add things to it to pay for Donald Trump's businesses and other big rich companies like, God forbid, they all had their hands in there. And then all of a sudden, the Democrats fought it. People got upset with the Democrats because people are going like, oh, look at that. These are all the people that took away your $1,200. I just shook my head. They didn't even go do the research. They didn't even go read up on it. So then the Democrats started adding stuff to it, and they wanted to stick stuff in there. Pay off $10,000 student loans and everything else. They were just going crazy. So then the Republicans had to go and stop that. We had both sides trying to get rich off this so-called stimulus, off our tax-paying money. And it now seems like they've come to some type of agreement. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'll bet you that $1,200 comes to bite you in the ass in another 6 months to a year. No such thing as a free lunch. Not in my entire 55 years, I've never seen anything such as a free lunch. And in my entire 55 years, the working man always got it up the ass. Every freaking time. Somewhere, somehow. And the working man always had to work twice as hard or a second job or something just to keep things going. So I predicted this pandemic was coming. I'm predicting the stimulus is just going to end up screwing a lot of people. And it's going to be like, what else is new? I'm watching that curve in the bottom right. When that starts to drop, then I'll be less stressed out. But as long as that keeps rising, those numbers are going to continue to grow. And we're going to see where it goes. You should be watching that curve too. Anybody that works in the health industry, you should be thinking about isolating yourself now from your family. If you truly love your family, when you get home, you should isolate yourself from your kids. You shouldn't go near them. Because we know what's the final product of that if a young child catches this. I seen a guy on Facebook that actually isolated himself in a garage with a tent and stayed away from his family because he works in the health industry. And he said he was going to stay out there away from his wife and away from his kids. That's a smart man. A very smart man. Because if he catches it, he has to fight it alone. But he doesn't hand it off to his kids. And if you work in the health industry or you're in the public or something like that, start taking this seriously. Start thinking, how am I going to isolate myself from my family so I don't infect my family? Do not become one of these numbers. Yes, you're going to become lonely. Yes, you won't see them for a month. So what? Keep them alive. Take this serious. Because that curve hasn't come down yet. These are just my opinions. You can take it for what you want. Fear-mongering, whatever. But I know for a fact that if I worked in any form of health industry whatsoever and I was coming home to my family, I would have had myself isolated completely. And I would not put myself in contact with my kids whatsoever. There is no way I would risk that. And it's too late once it happens. And if you do lose one, you're actually going to regret it for the rest of your life. Making choices where you don't regret is key. That is the biggest thing. Now, a lot of people are saying that the shelves are empty, right? Like when I go to my grocery store, I noticed like there was like 2 or 3 loaves of bread. I mean, the pickings were a little slim on the bread. And I was like, wow. But it's not because of people buying it. The reason we have less on the shelf is because there's less people going to work. So you don't have as many people going into the bakery and making the bread to send to the store, supply and demand. Because everybody's out of work. We're trying to knock that curve down. But most people ain't listening. Well, a good portion of them are. Some are. People are on Facebook begging you to stay home. Doctors are holding signs up to say stay home. And yet schools are out. I sat on my front porch today and I was sitting there and I watched 3 kids ride their bicycle up and down the road. I just shook my head. They should have been at home. Nope. They're running around like it's a play day, like it's a day off. Just pure stupidity. As they say, you can't help stupid. And the problem is stupid's going to infect other people. And that's just the final outcome. Keep yourself safe. Watch your ass. Because until that yellow curve comes down, it's about to get a whole lot worse. Strap that seatbelt on. USA is first, and we're going for a ride. Catch you guys on the next one.